I took a group of students to Israel one time, and I wanted to show them lots of different parts. So we went to an Orthodox kibbutz, right? And we walked. Now these are some of them refugees from Europe or in the Holocaust, and one of the young women wore her cross in the synagogue on this Orthodox kibbutz that we had. Big deal. Yes, exactly. No, for those people in the Jewish Orthodox kibbutz in Israel, a cross was had extremely painful memories. Absolutely. I think I'm agreeing with you. Okay. Yeah. And she couldn't go in the synagogue in that place. So, yeah, those religious, symbols can be that powerful. She didn't walk in. She didn't. I don't know. I lived in Pennsylvania for a while. I can give you lots of examples, but in Lancaster County where there are Amish, and they drive horse and buggies. We drive cars, and there's a lot of, when the horse and buggy gets out on the highway and I'm in the car, there's a lot of tension between the two communities centered around, and they, that's a symbol for them. They don't want as fast a life as we live. They slow down. They maintain their communities. I know 2 or 3 of you, but I'm a stranger here. They have real community. They live their lives in a community together. And the horse slows it down for them. It's not hard to understand why they don't want a car. Well, you can get to places faster, right? But our community zones, well, okay. They insist on the horse. So their whole way of life and ours, you can contrast it by a car and a horse. But see, so what I'm trying to explain is that the Judean community said, we don't eat pork. Pagans sacrifice pork to their gods. We don't do that. So the whole difference between, we could talk about Plato for, have a course, but the difference comes down to we don't eat pork and they do. It's like those other examples. And, that's, the eating pork is repulsive. That's what they do. See, and the Samaritans do that. And Jesus walks across into Samaria. See, it's an idea that this is the year of God's acceptance, but it's also a social reality that's hard to negotiate. It's as hard as between, secular French and an Arab woman, or, Amish and, let's see, it's been a long time. English, they call us, the Amish and the English, or, black Africans and Italian. I could keep multiplying examples, but Jesus crosses that boundary. And he was crucified. People who do that, Martin Luther King Jr. is not, he knew he was right. People who changed that societies that much are high risks. I could give you the example of Sadat in Egypt or Rabin in Israel. They tried, to negotiate, and they're both dead. They were shot by their own people. So, see, Luke and Acts. See, I forget. I don't know how much. I know the time goes by, and I forget. But okay, with that.
Let's go to about 10:30.
Okay. The picture I'm trying to give you is that the tensions we're having, of acceptance of others, it's there in Luke Acts. And I'm arguing that Jesus is the one who crossed the boundary. And Luke was this is prophesied by Isaiah. Jesus did it. Peter did it. I know it's hard. But we really shouldn't close our house churches to those other people. I think that's one of the core issues in, Luke Acts is a third of the New Testament. That's the debate that's going on. It's not that different from the one that we're having. I mean, it's not about ethnicity, it's about sexual orientation, but it's a boundary crossing that's, not easy. So.
In one of these readings, there was the line, God honors those who do what is right, something to that effect. And so if you look at all this, you see that everybody's defining what is right.
Sure.
What is right? What is the law? What is it that we are supposed to be? And so that means you're defining, and we cannot avoid that. That's essential. And I think when you look at evolutionary biology and so forth, you see again how we are, in a sense, programmed to stay with our own, and there's always outsiders. How do we define ourselves? It's by some kind of behavior, some kinds of laws.
Absolutely.
In theology, the story has to take us beyond that. Beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Italians have a certain way of life. It's pretty good. Like that wine and pasta and St. Francis, and they feel threatened by these floods of immigrants who, don't care so much about their pasta and St. Francis. They really do. And with some, how do you negotiate? Absolutely. They've got a way of life. Other people do too. How do you?
Well, eventually you see, when people have to spend time together with somebody that's different, okay? And we're being pulled along by society, just looking at the sexual issue, because our young people, it's not going to be the thing that it has been for us or whatever, as with the women. Okay, so society is taking us along in that direction. And I forget my point now.
Well, at least I can respond to what you're already saying. What we've got to do is learn somehow to be together. And if we're thrown together by the external of life, the huge divisions we have today just over this union question, and the threats that this is making, that the economy is making on our identities, and these are huge, huge impactful things. And somehow we've got to find a way to live together and tackle these things for the common good if we're going to come out of this. And I think people have to be sensing this on some levels. See, I did go to Union Seminary in New York, where before I was there, really, Reinhold Niebuhr taught that. He's a Christian ethicist theologian who taught that somehow tension is normal in the family. We could tell about family life and adoption where everybody always agrees with everybody, but I don't know many families like that. That's true in the church, and it's true in our nation, as you're illustrating. So, for Reinhold Niebuhr, the question is, there isn't one person somewhere who tells the truth. The truth is worked out in dialogue.
Yeah.
And boy, a year ago last August, I saw that at our church-wide convention. I saw the presiding bishop with extreme patience. He was letting everybody have their say. Red Mike, just stunning. I don't know how he was so patient, but it's exactly a matter of, and there were bishops arguing with each other, because lay people, how do you do that? And see, that's different from the way I was raised in the secular. We were supposed to be nice, and we boys had a lot of energy. We fought with each other, and we were taught to be nice. But at least the way I hear Reinhold Niebuhr, it's exactly in how we do. I'd use a strong word, confrontation with each other, and nevertheless listen to each other. That's not easy to do in a family or in a church. I was Wisconsin, or I don't know, how do you do that? That's, but see, I see that in Luke Acts, is what I'm saying. This is the year of God's acceptance. And so we move through this, we move across the border into Samaria. Jesus does. And then we move across some other borders. So the model I see of the church is, is exactly that kind of dialogue. It's incorporated was, I start out kind of anxious about. That's probably an understatement. So there's not a pattern. This is exactly what you do about church in Luke Acts. It's and